1035 1035 WRBO, Monique Jordan hanging out with you in the midday vibe. And you know I love having guests, right? Well, today I have a special guest. I have Dr. Futrell with me. Did I say that right?
You did. You did.
Yay! How you doing today?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I am wonderful, wonderful.
Good.
So, it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main reason we brought you in here, but we're open to talk about a lot of things.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
So first off, what is your specialty? What do you specialize in?
Well, that's a tough question. My specialty has kind of been all over the place.
Uh-huh.
More recently, I've done more work with women who are coping with trauma. I do see a lot of black males. I'm extremely excited about the influx of black men coming into therapy this year, but it's been a lot of trauma work. I do a lot of somatic work. I work with couples in relationships and
Girl,
I do a lot.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
do some work with substance abuse individuals as well. So
Okay.
all over the place a little bit.
So you busy,
I am.
but busy is good.
Yeah.
Busy is good.
Yeah.
So I know, like you said, you deal with a whole bunch of different things. I would like to talk to you about domestic violence.
Okay.
So now you have and with domestic violence, that is domestic violence is strong.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a strong subject, and it's a strong subject for me as well. I wish I would have gotten help or even spoke to somebody after I went through what I went through. I didn't.
Wow.
It was years and years and years ago. I'm okay now. However, there are people that go through domestic violence that don't speak to nobody. What would you say to them?
Talk about it. A part of the issue has been the stigma surrounding around so many things. And domestic violence is one of those things. You're taught to, like, if you put yourself in this situation, quote unquote, right, then why are you staying? People stay sometimes out of safety. And sometimes people don't talk about what happened to them because they're embarrassed, they're ashamed, or they feel like they can't get any help. But domestic violence is serious, and it's nothing new, right? Our city, it has gotten so bad that we have had to create another courtroom specifically for domestic violence cases.
Oh my goodness.
So this isn't like just some regular, this is, a few people are going through this. No, this is out of hand. Adults having trouble keeping their hands to themselves.
And let it be known, it's just not the men. It's not just the men.
Right.
Definitely not just the men.
Right. Right.
Something else about domestic violence, we think we asked for it. We asked for it. Well, maybe if I would have did it this way, he wouldn't have hit me. Or maybe if I did it this way, he wouldn't have said, because the violence isn't just physical.
Right.
Those words, I think, are worse.
Yeah.
Because
it starts off emotional and verbal.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So now with I'm trying to see where to go. Because with domestic violence, you go so many damn ways.
Yeah.
So many ways.
Yeah. I think what you said too, though, like, the blame, the self-blame that comes with that.
Yeah.
That's a part of the abuse cycle from the abuser, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, they will tell you, if you hadn't done this, or if you had did this way, when in actuality, we have to all be accountable for our own actions.
Absolutely.
So if you couldn't keep your hands to yourself, then that's on you. That's not on anyone pushing you to do anything. Right.
So now let me ask you, you have this lady that's been abused over and over, and she's finally said enough is enough. What is her next step?
Her first step needs to be establishing safety. What a lot of people don't realize is, again, people stay because they are afraid. And statistics will show you that a woman in particular, sometimes men, right? Men also get abused, but a person is most at risk when they're about to leave their abuser.
Yeah.
So there are steps that you take. Make sure that you can create a domestic violence safety plan. That includes making sure that you have copies of all of your important documents somewhere where you can reach them, an extra copy of a key to your vehicle. Some people may need to keep an extra phone so that they can, if they have to run in the middle of the night, or knowing where you can go. A lot of people don't realize you can't just get up and go to a shelter if you are a woman with a male child of a certain age.
Is that right?
Yeah, you can't take your son to a shelter if he is teenaged. So you have to figure out, where am I going to go?
Yeah.
How are you going to get access to funds, if you need to eat? So making sure that when you're ready to leave, that you set yourself up to be as safe as possible, and that you can contact someone for resources if you need to do that.
Absolutely. Is there a safe place here in Memphis?
Yes, we have quite a few resources for ladies and men who are dealing with domestic violence.
Excellent.
Sophia's House is the one that comes to mind for me initially. There are other places. Charge it to my head and not my heart, because there are lots of different resources, but Sophia's House is one that comes to mind. And the Salvation Army does a lot of work with women who are in abusive situations. I think they have a program for men as well, but again, as we know through statistics, it primarily affects women.
Right.
But here's the thing. That may be the case because it's so underreported by men.
You're right.
Right?
Men, afraid to say something, or embarrassed to say something.
Yes.
You're right.
Yes.
You're right.
Yes.
And listen, you're not alone. If you're out there and you've been abused, you're definitely not alone. And there's places for you to go get help.
Right.
Definitely.
Right.
How can someone get in touch with you if they just wanted to talk or needed to air out some things, or how can anybody get in touch with you?
How can anybody find me? I'm all over the place. So I'm on practically all of the social media sites, with the exception of Twitter/X.
I can't get into that one.
I can't either.
Reason.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the auntie in me. I can't. That one and Snapchat I don't do.
Glad she said it about me.
No, but everywhere else, either Googling me, Dr. Narisha Futrell should bring up all of my sites.
Spell your last name for them.
Futrell.
Okay.
I'm easier to reach via email. I'm not even gonna front. You probably not gonna be able to get me on the phone because I'm always doing something. But an email or a text, I answer pretty swiftly. My email address is nfutrell@Gihon GIHONINC.com, and the business line is 901-443-8895. We have a website, that's Gihon Counseling Solutions, and each of the therapists there, because I have 7 other therapists that work there for me or with me, you can always click on one of those links and it'll take you directly to our email sites, and you can contact any of us. One thing that we provide at my counseling service is not just direct counseling. If we can't help you, we can definitely find somebody who can.
Oh, that's the business. That's real good.
Yeah.
A lot of people, we can't help you. Well, sorry, because they're in our business too. That's making our money and taking our money. So that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
We're about helping the community, and if if we're not the right fit or whatever the issue is, we can make sure to point you in the direction of somewhere where you can get those services.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful, and it's needed.
Yeah.
And something else that is needed that we don't talk a lot about in our community is mental health.
Yeah.
You know, we don't talk about it a lot. We need to, because it's definitely out there.
Yeah. Don't get me started with mental health. I could go all day. Plenty of resources. I think for our community, sometimes the issue is that we don't know that the resources are out there, but it's lots of us out there. It's lots of us that look like us that can help us, because that's a different level of understanding. So, we're here, and there are different options. There are therapists in the city that provide a reduced scale for services. Lots of us take insurance still. So, you just got to find us.
That's wonderful. So again, give me that website one more time for the people in the back.
Gihon Counseling Solutions.
And spell Gihon for us.
GIHON.
See, I had an H in there. All right.
Yes.
Man, I really appreciate you coming by. I got to bring you back in.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's so much to talk about in such little time, but we can tackle a whole bunch of different things, different times.
Yeah.
And I definitely need you to come back.
I
Definitely.
would love to.
All right?
Yeah.
So it was great talking to you, Dr. Futrell.
Yes. That's like everybody always has to pause when they say it. Either my first or my last name. It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, both names, for sure.
Yes.
I had to look at it like, okay, here we go. But I definitely appreciate you stopping by. Stop by anytime, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You are so welcome. You think, you keep it locked where you are. We're 103.5 WRBO. And I'll fix that in the back. But,